Hey yo, what's up? You know what it is. It's your boy Triple the G.O.D. Welcome back to Triple the God Explains It All, everybody. And today we are going to be taking a look at Seiya Ultimate Cosmo for the PlayStation Portable. Now, before we begin, I just want to just reintroduce everybody to Yuna. You guys remember her. She was the character that I showed you that I can make air combos in the game for a character that doesn't have them do them, even though this game has air combos for certain characters, but not her dog. Yeah, that. And we also have, on the right side, we have Saint Seiya Omega's main character, Koga. And my thing about this is a help me, help you, help yourself segment, is why ain't you watching Saint Seiya Omega dog? If you doing that, applause to you. If not, please change that when you're done learning about this video. Helping me help yourself, help you, helping me help yourself. It's the Triple the Guy staple. Love it. With that being said, let's get to work. And let's start what we always do. This game, 8-way run. I can move in any 8 directions carte blanche as I want to. Because this is the case, the game gives you a jump button because up don't jump. With that being said, the background, foreground, a back step, a front step, and running because you have those options. Now, doing damage, you have a couple of attacks for that. You have a throw. We'll just start with that because, that makes sense. You can OTG off throws. Some characters can. Is that not every character, it's like a pool of throws that characters share. So, your mileage may vary of what your character can do after a throw, what throw they do, and a whole bunch of other stuff we'll get into later on. When it comes to actually attacking your opponent, punches, kicks, and the awesome special attack button. Here's the thing about the special attack button that I will preface with. The special attack button is not created equal. Not all the same characters do the same things. That the meter usage, hit properties, hit box, or anything that goes with that, or even doing a fucking player, even doing a fireball, don't even translate to all the characters. So it's going to be up to you to figure out what is it when I press the special attack button, what is it that my character does. And just a proof example of what I'm talking about, if you'll help me please. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and just so I don't forget, you can jump, and that's 10. What happens though if you don't have any meter? You just do a melee attack. This melee attack, you can't do anything off of it at all. Even some of your advanced options for juggles and stuff like that, you can do nothing off of it because the game respects it as such as a special. The same thing for doing a jumping attack, and just to prove that it don't do nothing, and no matter what jump height you do it. Now, another thing you may want to know is that some characters have strings that actually invoke special meter. Let me show you an example of what happens when you do it and you don't have meter. That's dangerous. Doing the combo that needs meter but the projectile don't come out, not a good idea. But just to show you proof positive that you do need meter for it, Yuna spins the meter, but as you notice, she gets a lot of it back. So it's like a perpetual motion machine. That as long as Yuna has enough meter to start it, she'll get enough meter to do another one. As long as you have enough meter to start it again. So keep that in mind as well. Alrighty, where should we go to next? Oh wait, yeah, the crux of this whole game's offense. Command normals. Now you may be wondering like, Rex, command normals, seriously? Yes, seriously. Command normals in this game are key because of how your strings work. Is that strings in this game, as I'll show you in a minute, is that strings have a lot of telegraph to them. So is that when you're doing certain strings, they do flashy stuff and a whole bunch of stuff that has recovery frames for like all day long. So when you hit confirm it to that stuff, you don't have to worry about knowing that whether or not is my string gonna hit, because if you're doing your hit confirms first and you're starting your hit confirms and it don't hit, you can always take yourself out the string early so that you're not putting yourself in situations where you are eating recovery frames and then in trade of that eating damage you shouldn't be in the first place. But when it comes to command normals, you have a lot of options. And I guess I should start with Yuna's far away option. You can run an attack. A lot of characters actually can do things after they run an attack. Yuna cannot. The punch and the kick button do the same exact thing no matter what, so don't worry about it. You also have jumping normals as well that you can start combos off of. She got this Macho Man elbow drop if it'll actually hit. Why is it not hitting? Thank you. And she also has this this spin kick attack, which takes a lot of things to open. It's kind of like Kamen Rider, you know, with jump normals and such like that. Just so you know. And you also have 6, count them, 6 command normals on the ground coming for both your punch and kicks, and they go like this. Yeah. Up and punch, forward and punch, down and punch, up and kick, forward and kick, and down and kick. The key to all of that is going to be figuring out what is my best command normal that don't knock down, because that's going to be your first. That's your first building block for combo basics. What is my command normal that does not knock down? And in Yuna's case, this forward and punch button. It's really, really cool, and we'll get into that later. So now that we know that, how about strings? Now, I'm not going to sit up here and demonstrate every string in Yuna's thing because Yuna will get her own special video for that. But it's to be known that you should study your strings. Now, a lot of string, every hit in your string has a different hit property. That whether it's a small stun, whether it's a juggle, whether it's a knockdown, and it's going to be key for you. And your second brick of building combo is figuring out what string does what. So that now that we figured out all that, we need to jump into the one other thing that I haven't shown you earlier, and it's called the Omega button. The Omega button controls everything having to do with using super meter for the most part. Is that when you hold the Omega button, you can charge up meter. Now, the caveat to that is that when you're charging up meter, as you see, you have recovery frames in between the charging animation and you going back to normal. So being careful in knowing when to charge, when not to, and knowing where your recovery frames are very key. So we'll charge up some more. Now, before we get into what you can do with the Omega button, there's one thing that you do need to know about wielding your offense. Oh, and I did forget one more thing, that you do have one more command normal. Sidestepping command normal. It doesn't change. Well, it doesn't change from punch to kick. So, you know that you do have that. I'm glad I reminded myself of that. So, the last thing that you need to know is the cloth break. And the cloth break, you know, varies from character to character. Yuna's is up and kick. But I'm just going to show you what happens. When you don't fully charge it, she just does a kick that does a knockdown. But if you hold it, she does that and your opponent bangs against the wall and then they eat some damage. The thing about cloth breaks are the follow. That when you do a cloth break, when you're on offense, when you're doing it, know that that move is highly telegraphed. It's very blockable, and if you miss, you're probably going to eat a long strain because of the long recovery time you have from going up into the air when you're blocking until you land and to get into a position where you can block. So be careful when using it. If you happen to hit it on your opponent, you're going to do more damage because as you break their cloth, you do more damage, and it does travel between rounds. So that's important to keep in mind as well. And we're going to use the Omega button to charge back up because we've shown you everything cool. And before I forget, a cloth break does cost 50% of meter if you fully charge your hit or miss. So let me just double check that just to show you to make sure. Is that, no, if you don't fully charge it, it don't cost nothing. If you do, it costs 50%, but you get some of it back, so it does balance out to a degree. So, what else can you do with the Omega button? Interesting question. Is that you have 3 specials that you can invoke. You have this punch special, which is Yuna's Divine Tornado. You have this this close-up tornado that you can activate with a whole bunch of starter, but does a whole lot of damage. And if you charge up, is that initially when you charge up and press the special button, you don't do a special, but you do an Omega Burst. And the Omega Burst has a lot of things to it. Mainly what you need to know is that it reminds me a lot of the Assault Gauge in Climax Heroes. Is that when you do a Cloth Burst, is that when you do an Omega Burst, I'm saying Cloth Burst, but when you do an Omega Burst, is that you get extended combos, you do more damage and stuff like that. So learning what your character's extended combos are when they do an Omega Burst is important. other things you can do off the Omega Burst, the most important thing is your Omega Special. Is that you press it to invoke it, and then you have to hold the Omega button and then press the special button again in order to do it again. Just so you know. We're going to recharge back up one more time because there are other things you can do off of it. Omega Burst, do this. Is that, yes, you can combo into an Omega Burst and then do a special. Whether or not it'll hit, that's, you know, a personal thing between character to character. So, you know, charge back up and we'll do that again. Just so you understand, and that you can do some cool stuff off of it. Like do a burst and then do a divine tornado. But and as you saw that I'll explain is that anytime that you are in Omega Burst mode and you do a special, any one of your 3 specials available, it immediately kills the rest of your bar. So knowing that, be careful. Now, I'm going to turn the meter on to full because we have one more thing that we have to show. So, let us see. Now, remember that combo I showed you in that video now? Well, actually, we're not even going to show that yet because we can't show you the fun stuff because we got to put together all your building block basics. Remember your building block basics, kids. Command normal to make sure that your combo's going to hit. A string that lets you do a whole bunch of stuff and then finding a cute way to finish it. So, sit down, Koga, because we're going to show the people how we get down. And that's just a basic something that you can do. That, again, that combo had all 3 elements. A command normal, a string where I understand when and where I can do an Omega special form, and it looked nice too. And that's key. And you are going to find that out as you explore this game, is that that's what's going to be key. Understanding that those 3 are your basic building blocks for offense, and as long as you keep those things in mind, you should be okay. But before we get out of here, let me explain that combo that I posted up a couple of weeks ago. Cross burst. The trick to that is actually doing it, and I did it way too late. Let's see if we can get it on wax. Oh, but if you do it fully, and I don't know why I pressed the 3rd special, but if you do it fully, it does a cost break combo at the end. So let's make sure we can get this on wax. That's what you don't want to do, but it does show that tornado does OTG. So let's make sure that we can get this on wax. See, did it too late again. See, you have to do it right at the peak of the jump, and it's real hard. It's real hard until you get enough practice with it. And I haven't been, and I just, haven't been playing the game enough like I should. There we go. Just like that. You get and also in that video, like I showed you, that you can do the spinning creation off of it as well. See if I can show that. Or can't show it like that, Make sure we can get it. See. Well, it's not going to happen like that. Oh, when I do the wrong special too. Great. See, this is what happens when you don't practice, kids. And that's what happens when you mess up the combo. Because the key to doing the spinning creation off of it is that you have to frame time it, and it's like you have to frame time it and make sure that you are on the ground but your opponent is still in the air but as close to the ground as possible, if that makes any sense. Nope, that's not gonna work either. We're gonna try this one more time, and if it don't work, it don't work. It's already enshrined on the internet for all times. I really don't think you need me to show you it again, but I just want to just show it proof positive that it does work and it's not a fluke or anything. Well, we done. We done with that. So remember your building blocks, children, is that command normal, string that does cool stuff, And this is what happens when you do it way too early. But yeah, but it's like the building blocks for this game is just, you know, using command normals to you do your hit confirms, and then finding strings that let you do stuff that you shouldn't. Wow, I ain't never seen that before. I'm so determined to hit this thing. I am so determined to hit this thing just to get it on wax in the basics video. But you know, it don't look like it's gonna happen. But I'll give myself one more try, and then we're gonna get out of here for real. Cause you know, I know y'all ain't got all day for this. So there we go, on the last try. See, that's what happens when you don't give up and you give yourself ultimatums, and then you do this. Booyah! Right to the wall, Koga. Shame, shame, shame. I don't want to go to Mexico. No more. Hey, believe me. Y'all know the rest. But yeah, I hope you guys learned something from this, because we're going to be getting into this game deep a little bit later after I do some more Kamen Rider stuff and play Mega Man X3 until, you know, my eyes bleed and stuff like that. So I hope you guys learned something, but I'm going to remind you one more time, your offensive building basis for this game: find a command normal that don't knock down. Find a string that I can do long enough to juggle off of or do cool shit, and then do cool shit. See? You can't lose with that at all. So I'm gonna get out of here. Before I get out of here, man, I want to shout out, man, one of my longtime homeboys, man, been holding me down for years. Chubb Nader, I see you, blog. I see you. He was the reason why this video got made, because he had to remind me when the hell this was coming out. Knives Out, so you can't even say nothing. So Chuck, I see you, fam. It is what it is, man. Hey, appreciate you showing me years of love. Dedicate to you, all that stuff. I'm finna get out of here because I gotta go play Mega Man X3 because that's my job. I am Triple the G.O.D. And of course, Triple the God explains it all. And I'll holler at you guys next time, man. Peace out.